Welcome to all the Mini enthusiasts, classic car enthusiasts generally. Okay, so I wanted to do a quick shout out to Jason Ackley, who sent me a comment yesterday, and this just didn't really occur to me from what he's saying in his comment. I think he runs a business, a garage business, and he made some good points. The first thing he said was, is it possible it's the car switch, the inertia switch? And this is not something that I thought about, but we did replace it because the original one was working, but the little tags where it screws onto this bracket weren't on. So obviously when we put it on, the ball was already out of the socket, and that's all it was. It was just a matter of clicking it and picking the ball back up, and she starts beautifully, no problems at all. In fact, I'll show you that in a minute. So thanks very much, Jason, for that, much appreciated. And he said something which is very true. You know, it's very easy to jump to conclusions or assume things. I mean, the fact that we had the dashboard out, kind of that, straight away, I kind of jumped to the conclusion, well, that must be what it is, must be something to do with the wire in there. And I came out, as I said, I pressed it, reset it, perfect. And then somebody asked about the battery. It's not disconnecting the battery making a difference. It's mechanically held in plastic, and it's only when it's violently moved that it drops. So it's not, the electrical contact is only made when the ball bearing drops. Anyway, so thanks very much for that. So I got a lot of comments and a lot of views on the Mini and the paint job. So basically, you know, I don't want to go into the personal details, but just to let you understand how this situation arose, because you would think, well, you know, surely you should have something in writing. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, which is a warning to everybody. You know, get a quote and get it in writing, or record the message, or whatever it is. Have something to back it up, because a verbal agreement is only that, it's your word against somebody else's. But the fact that we've been taking our cars to this guy for MOTs or for turf, the pickle as they called it here, every year, and we'd had lots of work done on my wife's Mercedes, her A-Class and so on. And I've known them for about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years on and off, so I assumed that you know, they would be straight, and generally here people are pretty good. And I know there's quite a few concerns or comments about, oh, I wouldn't take it back to them now, you've had a fallout. Well, I haven't actually fallen out with them. I haven't gone over there and started shouting the odds. To be honest, I kept away because I was very angry about it. And kind of where I went wrong, I kind of got a bit matey with them. And what happened was they had an uncle, or one of the owners has an uncle who has a Series 2 E-Type Roadster, which they painted. And while my car was there, in fact, while my E-Type was there, and then I noticed there were some problems when they'd done the body work. And I pointed this out to him, I actually showed him in a magazine. They'd actually put lines down the side of they'd done it beautifully, where the seals are, where the front A and B panel is. They put a line into it where normally it's lead loaded and it's completely flat, and they thought that that's how it was supposed to be. And I said, look, this is not correct. So they redid it, they re-finished it, and then they painted it again. But what happened was one of the owners asked me, for his uncle, would I rebuild the car? So the car was completely finished, but the engine, IRS and everything wasn't done. And he asked me if I would put it back together. And I wasn't over keen to do the job, but I'd said I'd need an X amount of money to make it worth my while. And they were a bit shocked. But it's a very labour intensive job to put an E-Type back together, any car for that matter. So after that kind of went a bit awry, I'd already got, the E-Type was already sorted out. Again, that was done verbally. The thing with the Minis is, the deal was I wasn't paying for the job, for the paint job. The way it was going to work was, the friend of mine who I'm doing his XK for, rather than have any money change hands, he pays for parts and he pays for, and this Mini was part of it. And because he has a company, it means that the VAT is off. But even if you work that out, it's still €4,700. I've worked that out, and it turns out if you work out the hours, I think they charge around about 70 euros an hour plus the VAT. So 70 euros an hour is 67 hours, which if you work an 8-hour day, that's 8.3 days. Now the car wasn't even there for 8.3 days. It was there for 6 days, and 2 of those was a Saturday and a Sunday, which they didn't work. So this is utter bullshit, which I'm going to bring up to him, but I'll have to take my wife there to translate. Anyway, so, because the VAT was 1,200. Anyway, so that's basically what it was. It was just the inertia switch. I'll get the car running for you, and I want some help from you guys as well if you can. In here I've got a Ripspeed mobile entertainment. It's got the DVD flat screen that comes out and flicks up, and it's a DV720. I'll put it in the description, and it's making a kind of strange noise, and I don't know if it's what's happening with it. It doesn't seem to come on and off. So if anybody's got any knowledge of these, could they please get in contact with me, because I'd like to get it working, or at least have it repaired or do something, because of the it's going to look horrible without having it in. So I'll start it up and let you hear how it sounds. This is with the new, in fact I don't even need to get in. Oh yeah, I do. So, she sounds pretty nice, so yeah, so I'll let you have a quick look. I'll pick the camera up and I'll show you what it is. Hopefully it will show up. So, but it's all looking nice in there, but there it is there. You can see it's got the new tags on it. That's all it was, just needed resetting. So, okay, so you can see in here, this is the player, and you can see it's flashing on and off. Well, it was. You could maybe if I be quiet. It sounds like there's a DVD in there, because this piece here, for some reason, it just wants it to come on, but this piece here should actually come out. But I don't. Ah, it's not flashing now. It stopped. Huh. But you can hear something whirring in there, so if anybody knows anything about these things, could you let me know, please? Okay, so just to finish off, yeah, I got some nice comments about the welding trolley, or the welding cart. So I've taken your advice and I've put a little mini bar on it. I thought it just needed that little extra touch. So there's a nice mini bar, a selection of champagne and wine and water, and of course the kettle. So now I've always had the kettle in here, and so I thought, yeah. So the only thing, I've got a coffee maker, but I don't drink coffee, so I won't bother putting that on. No, it's obviously just a joke. But there is room to put it on there. It's like a drinks trolley on an airplane, isn't it? Anyway, it was just a joke. So Doug, Piper Doug up in the prairies mentioned an idea about these, about maybe putting some kind of bearing on the bottom, and I could do that. I could probably even put a folded edge on it so that it gets caught in there. But I think, to be honest, I've got plenty of this very thin rebar, and I think it'd be just easier just to put a bar up there, up against the back of that, and then down again, and it'll stop the tray coming out. But what I will do, when I put the 1mm in, it'll go inside here, so it'll be framed. And the colour we're going to do it is this. This is the blue of the, what do they call this company? RP Tools. And this is the blue. It's not quite the same blue. Not quite, and is it? There's quite a bit of difference. Well, not bad, I suppose. But it'll do the job, and it'll tidy it up and make it look a bit nicer. Anyway, that's it. So tomorrow, there won't be anything more done on this until I get it all painted up and get the other shells made. And I'll start on the car tomorrow. Start on the E-Type, start getting all these bits and pieces done. So, take care, guys. Be careful what you're doing. Like you can see on that cut there. And unfortunately, this is what happened. This is the cut on my hand. Anyway, be careful. Bye for now. Bye.